What it is, y'all, it's your old boy Pilk, and based on the video I dropped the other day, I think there's some major misconceptions in the community about how the ability system works and how things are triggered and what percentages are what. So let's kind of have yet another discussion about the ability system, because there are some really big misconceptions out there, and I think the biggest misconception I saw is how abilities kind of kick off. So number one, let's kind of look at the AGL MUI Goku for one. This guy, and of course I've just been working on some units here in the background. So this is one that actually came up in discussion. And after ECA, this guy gets something like 77% dodge, right? And let's look at my build here. Okay, so at the risk of my USB kicking off on me here, let's try this. Let's grab him here. So I went a lot of double attack, but I do also have a lot of critical hit built in him. And the reason for that, the biggest reason for that, is because he has that built-in dodge. Now, you do have some built-in dodge, and I have a little bit of dodge in him. I honestly probably shouldn't, if I'm totally honest with you guys. In fact, right now, the way everything's said and done, since we are still in the area of having, you know, one Dragonstone to clear up these misconceptions, I absolutely should. So let's do that real quick here. So I'm going to get rid of all of this dodge here. This is stuff that I put in long ago, before he got his EZA, when, you know, something like that absolutely would have been kind of an asset. So now, we're going to go up here and look at his build. Okay. 70%... When HP is 70% or more, evades enemies' attack, including super attack, for one turn from the character's entry. So basically, this guy's got 77% of everything. So people seem to think that if you give this guy, you know, 23% more dodge, he's going to literally dodge everything. And that's not the way that works, guys. Basically, there's Dokkan maths to this, right? And to make it really easy and really simple, that first percentage to dodge, the initial percentage to dodge, if it does not trigger the dodge, it then rolls whatever your ability system is. So let's say, and let's kind of clear the air here on this too, because dodge is like a 1-to-1 ratio. So right, I just took 9% dodge off of him. So a lot of people are out there panicking, oh God, you could have had him dodge all the time. And I'm like, not really. That was a 9% chance to dodge, by the way. 9% chance. Now, you always had built-in dodge, and you always had a little something. But with 77% now, dodge built into this guy, essentially, that 9% is nothing. That 9% is like less than 3%. It's like 2.75 or something like that percent chance to dodge. And the reason that that is the case is because that 9% only triggers if the 77% doesn't go off. So, let's say the 77% does not trigger. We are now looking at a whole other 100% chance to dodge. And I've only got 9% of that. So if you really break this down, that devalues that 9% so incredibly. The odds of it triggering are less than a third. Less than a third of whatever you put into them. So really, that level 9 dodge was worth about an old school level 3 dodge. You ever always heard people talking about, oh, put level 4, level 3, level 5 dodge. Like a 3 to 5% chance to dodge was something I never believed in. And so with that 9% dodge, sure, on top of whatever he had, I think he had like 50% before or something like that. He had a good chance to dodge for. And it just got better. And frankly, I'll be honest, I probably don't even think it was worthwhile then. But the long and the short of it is, now 9% dodge is totally worthless on this guy. Absolutely worthless. So instead of a 77% chance to dodge, we are not even cracking an 80% chance overall to dodge. That's just the raw calculation behind that. I would be so much better putting that in double attack and critical hit. Now, let's talk double attack, because I have level 14 double attack, and with double attack and critical hit, that's a 2.1 or 2 to 1% chance. So in other words, a level 14 dodge is a 28% chance to dodge. You know, or I'm sorry, 28% chance to perform a double attack. And I hear you going, but 28% is not that great. This is the literal opposite of dodge. What this is, this says, okay, every time he gets an attack. So let's see how many attacks this dude gets. I'm going to go back to his passive here, and I'm going to try to speed read that passive one more time. Okay, 200% plus an additional attack and defense, 77% when HP is 77% more. Key 7 and evades enemies attack, including super attack from 1 turn for the start. 77% chance of launching an additional super attack. So, first super attack is a 77% chance. Okay. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Plus an additional chance of evading enemies attack, including super attack, plus 7% when the same turn of each attack evaded, including enemy super attack. Key plus 2 up to 10%, up to 10. Plus an additional attack and defense 30% up to 150, huge. Plus the each attack evaded, including super attack. It's crazy. So while it sounds like on the surface of it you really do want some evasion, his evasion chance is already wild. So plus additional attack 77% performs a critical hit when activating an active skill or when key is 24. That's a huge factor there, guys. If key is 24, he's performing a critical hit. And let's see. We'll get to that here in a minute. It just says performs a critical hit. It doesn't say all attacks from critical hit. Okay? One more time. Now, if HP is 77% or less from the start of character's attacking turn, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, there's a lot of factors here, and I can't read all of it under my tongue or under my thumb because there's so much of it here. But essentially, he already has built-in double attack, right? So, basically with each double attack, you have a better opportunity of triggering your skill-based extra attack. So, let's break this down. You have a 77% chance of getting off the first multi-attack. Okay? Great. Odds are it triggers or it doesn't. Here's the best part about double attack, right? When he hits the first attack, it'll roll for the double attack. Now, at level 14, I have a 28% chance of landing that. Little more than 1 in 4 chance. Not great, not terrible. Now, here's where it gets really good. If he gets that 77%, he's going to roll again for it. So now my percent chance with the 77% is really closer to like 45%. That ain't bad. But the more attacks he does, the more likely I am to get the 3rd, 4th, 5th, whatever final attack. This will only trigger once. But when you have units like, I don't know, the physical Rosé that gets like 10 attacks, every single time that dude attacks, he's doing a die roll for that extra damage. So if you have like, let's say level 10 double attack in that guy, and he gets 5 attacks off, you now have a 50% chance, actually more than that. Yeah, something like that. It's crazy. It's a wild percentage. It never hits 100%. It will not hit 100% chance. But you have a wild percent chance of actually hitting that. So right now with level 14 attack and all the double attacks this guy does, I literally have like a 60, I forget I calculated it out, but it's 60-ish percent chance of getting that extra attack. Now, that is under the situation that he gets all of his attacks off. But so double attack, basically, unlike dodge, gets better the more he has in his passive. As a result, there is a point at which putting too much double attack in there isn't worthwhile. And I often say that when it comes to double attack, when it comes to double attack, in essence, you want to, you kind of want to offset it, right? So like level 14 is good if he's getting like 2, maybe 3 attacks. If it's more than that, I say like level 12 sometimes, level 13, level 12. But never, whenever there's built-in double attacks, I never go over level 15. And it triggers so incredibly often because, let's say for the sake of argument, he gets 2 attacks and I have level 15, right? First attack, I have a 30% chance of triggering. Second attack is, so long as it's guaranteed, assuming it's guaranteed, I now have a 30% chance of landing it there. Now, I hear you guys saying, but that makes it 60%. Not really. It actually kind of diminishes, so it's now become like a 45%, and then you could literally cut the next one in half, and the next one in half, and the next one in half. But you see how the percentages, they don't diminish. They get better every time. Never hits 100%, because it will not hit 100%. But it gets really, really, really good. So, in essence, if you have 3 built-in extra attacks, and you put in level 14 dodge, you have something like, let's see, first one's level, let's say level 15, because it's easy to calculate. You have 30% chance on the first one, which adds another, let's say 15% chance, which adds another 7% chance. Yes, it does diminish, but 13, 45, you're a little over 50%. You're halfway to getting that extra attack. And I hear you saying, but doesn't that mean you want to then put everything into the combo attack? Not always, especially in the modern era. And somebody brought this up in the comments the other day, because we still haven't talked about critical hit. Units with built-in critical usually, not always, are kind of, that most of the time they're going to trigger it on one attack or another. Some of them do it across the board. So it really comes down to a case-by-case scenario. Some, once they hit a critical hit, every attack will be a critical hit. Some will just trigger it per attack. So it's really kind of becomes a case-to-call scenario. And you really do want a decent number of critical attacks. So what do I have over here? Critical attack is another 2-to-1 ratio. So right now I've got level 15 critical hit on this guy. So every attack has a 30% chance to become a critical hit. However, just like with dodge, that means the first attack, 30% chance. The second attack still is a 30% chance, but between the two, I now have a 45% chance, a little less than half a chance for either one to be a critical hit. Now, that does diminish, but that means that each attack has a 30% chance of being a critical hit. You could take that up to level 25 if you want. Give yourself a 50-50 shot. Would be awesome. In fact, that's kind of what I feel like I might do with this guy. So, even though he does have some built-in critical, let's just double check and read his passive real quick. And unless I'm misunderstanding his passive too, because that's sometimes written a bit weird. So he, let's see, HP 77%, enemies attack, super attack. 77% chance of launching additional super attack. That's what I was talking about before. That's why I say level 14 isn't. It's kind of like my cap personally. Plus an additional chance of evading enemies attack. He's all about the evasion. This guy's all about the evasion. Where does it say the critical hit? I'm going down here. Key +2 plus additional defense 30% up to 150 with each attack evaded. Including super attack, plus additional attack 77% and performs a critical hit when activating the active skill or when key is 24. So, what that's saying is if you have 24 key, his attacks will all be critical hits, if I'm reading that correctly. So, really, in this situation, that means this is a rare situation where I'm like, honestly, for me, I think I'm happy with this critical hit ratio. I might actually take some the double attack skill orbs. I'll probably put these in double attack because, I mean, the goal here is honestly to get him. I'll do critical hit there. So I could actually take the critical hit out of his skill orbs. Let's go up here and look at what's built up here because I don't honestly remember. So there's critical hit up here too. So let's go ahead and activate that. And I'm actually going to leave it there. Level 20 double attack and all that seems really, really good. I could take a little bit out of the other side. But I really feel like at this point, this guy's got such, like, once again, I could put like level 15 or whatever evasion in him, but don't think 15% evasion is going to do us any good. So the main thing you want to take away from this is, at the end of the day, when it comes to dodge, specifically dodge, the more dodge built into the passive, the less value your dodge percentage gets. And remember, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. Whatever number you see there, that's the percentage of dodge chance you get. Is the opposite with combo attack. the more combo attack is built into his passive, the more value each one of your combo attacks gets, which conversely means you can put less and less and less in there and get the same amount out. At level 20 right now, I have a 40% chance of each attack he does triggering yet another attack. That's why I say level 20 right here is almost overkill. I really probably could go change his skill orbs, put some extra physical power in him, put some extra defensive power in him. Not that he really needs it. Like, there's so many situations here where I could modify this unit, but honestly, he just does not need any dodge. Like, this dude's dodge percentage is just through the roof already. So, where does that leave critical hit? Well, critical hit is one of those case to call scenarios, and where at 24 key, this guy will get critical attacks. Great. But any critical I put into him is really kind of buffing the situation which he doesn't get 24 key. So I do still want some critical hit in him, but if he gets 24 key, it kind of negates all of that. So where I do have a lot of level 15 in there, I could probably take him down to honestly like level 10. That's a 20% chance per attack. But do bear in mind that, and like I said, somebody brought this up in the comments section the other day, that every critical hit circumvents any defense. Where we have units with multi-million defense nowadays, that could be a huge number. The critical percentage could be huge. So, realistically, a unit like this could still do with some critical hit, just because you don't know you're always going to get 24 key unless you're running some major key support. And I don't know about you guys, a lot of times I don't run key support on these teams anymore. There's not a lot of value in key support, with some rare exceptions. Some of those key support units, with I think the exception of Bulma, really get taken out with the quickness. So, you know, I'm not 100% confident I will get 24 key every single time. So that's why I'm putting some critical hit into this dude. But that's kind of the basis of it, guys. Dodge, for every unit in dodge that is in the passive, dodge diminishes in value. For every unit in double attack that is in the passive, double attack basically gets better and better. And like I said, critical hit really depends on if it's per attack or overall. Overall, obviously, there's not a lot of value in it. It just is really a case to call scenario. Now, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, because this is all based off conversations that we had in the comments earlier today and yesterday regarding this. People seem to think that it's additive, and it is not additive, guys. It is 100%. Someone put it perfectly. Diminishment in value. Everything triggers separately, so you can't say that, oh well, 77% dodge plus 23% dodge equals 100% dodge. It's not how it works. Not how it works. Just want to clear the air on that. Hopefully that makes more sense, guys. Like, comment, and share, and I'll be back with more coming up soon.